Okay, today we're going to start our fall and winter style landscape. And the easiest thing that we do is we measure down one side with our paper sideways. We can go down about halfway and then just a little bit farther. And that sets our horizon line. My line's not always going to be super straight, but the ground that we draw outside that we see is not always straight either. We're going to use this one like a sunset, so that's going to be our center of interest. Just like if you're writing a sentence and you have a subject, this is our center of interest. It's what the picture is about. So let's use a half circle shape, which is going to be a sunset. Super easy. Now let's make some wiggly squigglies. You know how I like wiggly squiggly lines. Coming away from the sunset, going toward the corner of your paper. And then the same on the other side, toward the corner of your paper. My wiggly squiggly lines don't match, and that's okay. It can be a old dirt path, or it can even be a creek or a pond. That's going to be your choice when you add your colors. So that we have balance on our paper, let's build a tree on one side and then build some objects of interest on the other. So just with a curvy line, kind of like the letter C, I'm going to put that in there. And then a backward, like a parenthesis, or a backwards letter C, just that bow will create a tree. I'm not going to worry about this line here. Most of you will use pencil. I'm going to color over it and make it less important in a few minutes. When you're making a tree, those are frustrating for a lot of us because we like to make the circles with the sticks. That's okay. On this one, we're going to put a letter V kind of on its side, and then another letter V standing up, and then come to this side. It can go off the page into the corner. And finally, you can go down into the middle of the tree and create, just by using the letter V, the beginnings of branches. The time of year that we're using helps us to make this raggedy tree look more important because there are no leaves on it. I'm going to add a few clouds to go with our balance on the other side, and we're going to make those flat on the bottom, just a line with some wiggly lines that taper back to the end. You might add a line here and maybe one further into the sunset and follow that same idea, just the wiggly lines and connect it. Because these are the way we see a lot of our clouds just at the end of the day. If you want to make some overlaps, you can put a small cloud in the sky that goes into the sun. Almost looks like an egg, like a poached egg. Now, all that's left is to add a few areas of interest, and then we will color it and see how that turns out. I'm just going to use lines to make it look like old dead wheat grass, and just use some small circles to give you the idea that maybe there's seeds or fluff blowing off of those brushy areas. Add some to the other side. These are all the way that you like them to do. You do not have to make yours look just like mine. You could even make a second one over here that's maybe closer, and so it has a little more detail, so you can make the circles on that one larger and then little bunches. Maybe a little more on this side to give it, again, the balance that we're looking for. This is just lines and shapes, lines and shapes, lines and shapes. Since it is fall, let's put some movement in here with some zigzag lines to make leaves, as if they're blowing in the wind, zigzag lines with a leaf, and maybe one more, like it's blowing above the water. Okay, let's color it and see what happens.